Hello everyone, welcome to AdiTrade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Banknifty levels for 19 July, Tuesday. See, this is the daily chart of Banknifty that I've opened. Over the weekend when I made the Monday video, I had a view that we could get an up move. See, from this low of 32,300, we made a high, we made a lower high, then we made a higher high, we made a lower high. Was expecting a move, but today's move is a pretty strong close. See, almost like 2.5 or 3 days of move is engulfed in one candle, which is quite strong. So we'll be seeing our other charts, CPR charts. They're pretty interesting things on CPR for this week, and the monthly CPR and the daily CPR, and also seeing where the levels are, what are the levels that we can use for tomorrow. First, let me go with the CPR chart, and I've just enabled only the monthly CPR. And if anybody wants to know how to get the CPR indicator, you can just go to indicator, type CPR. You'll get over here, click on indicators in TradingView. It's mostly available in TradingView, and when you type CPR, you'll get a lot of free indicators, monthly, weekly and daily. You can use and modify the colors and the patterns as required. I use monthly CPR. All the cross lines that you see are the monthly CPR. That's how I have set it. Now, apart from today's move, right, on the monthly CPR, we have a very close resistance over here at about 35,492, where previously also we took resistance and came down. So we are very close to that point. Maybe this will come even in a gap up tomorrow, not sure. But whenever the price comes here tomorrow at about, it will touch this for sure. That's what my view is. But when we come into this 35,500 region, we need to be a little careful. If this breaks, we will see what are the other levels that we can get on the upper side. Now, just a trade review of today's trade. What happened? See, the moment the market opened, we got a gap up. The gap up was good. This is today's Banknifty chart with today CPR levels, and the purple lines are the support and resistance, what I have marked manually, apart from the CPR. But the CPR levels itself was beautiful. See, when we got this first high wave candle, right, like high wave meaning on both sides you have good wicks, right? So with that type of a candle, you won't be able to, figure out anything much. So the best trade was to wait and see if this 5-minute range breaks. And obviously I use CPR and the moving averages. I keep explaining in all my videos. See, the 20 moving average was pretty well respected today. The first best entry, according to me, was over here when we kind of made this morning star, took support at the 20 EMA. This was the best entry with this low as the stop loss, the low of the morning opening low as stop loss. So if anybody had taken this trade and held on to it, it was a beautiful trade. But we were able to enter only over here because I wanted to enter after the first 5-minute range broke out. We did get a break. This was more like a retest. If I expand this, the 5-minute chart, we did break out here. Was expecting a retest exactly at the 20 MA. When this hammer came, we entered and exited at R2. And after that, just did some scalping here. This was a beautiful trade. And today we had the bullish view. Another thing that was supporting this bullish view was the narrow CPR, right? Always, if you backtest and see, most of the days when we have narrow CPR, either will touch R3 or S3. So this was one good trade. This was like a perfect trade for us, and rest people, like, see, we could have held this trade beautifully by trailing the stop loss as 20 MA. Now, if any candle had closed below 20 MA, we could have exited the trade wherever we had entered. If we had entered here or after this 5-minute range breakout, anywhere we had entered. Throughout the day, the price never came below 20 MA, so we could have taken a trailing stop loss. But my style of trading is I take short targets and later I enter if required. So that is how we were able to capture this, and the same was pretty much shared in our CosmoFeed group. I'm coming to the CosmoFeed group after a few days as I was busy during the live market days in the past week. So this is what happened today. Now, coming for the levels for tomorrow, the first thing is we need to keep a good track of we need to watch out for this level, 35,496, the exact level, 35,000 around 496. to 35,530. This is where we might take resistance on the upside. And now this is the monthly CPR level. Right now, since the week just started, I'm putting in the weekly CPR. The particular CPR that I use, the indicator is not available on TradingView for free, but there are many free indicators, so it is easily accessible. It's not necessary that this is required. So this is the dotted line that we see is the weekly CPR. This is mixed along with daily CPR, and the dotted lines on top, the red lines, are the resistance. See, we perfectly kind of took, took support at this weekly CPR and broke out of it and hit R1 of weekly CPR. Now, based on the weekly CPR for the week, the next target is this 35,975, and also 50% of R1 and R2, that is around 35,600. So these are the levels on the upside. I do have a feeling that the monthly CPR and this resistance point, right, 35,500, will get hit tomorrow, but we'll have to see if the bullishness continues or we're going to have a sideways day. And see, if somebody has made very good money today, right, if they've got a perfect trade from the first 5-minute range or anywhere, if they've made money, tomorrow can be a trade where we can be pretty careful and also consider it as a no trading day. Why? Because we have a white CPR. What happens when we have a white CPR is you can backtest and see most of the time, either in the morning or in the afternoon, we'll just get that one big move, and then rest of the day we will remain in a range either between R1 to previous day high or within the CPR or within this R1 and R2, whether we get a gap up or in case we get a gap down, we will just remain in one range, right? So because of that, even no trading for tomorrow is a good option. But now, see, as of now, the global markets are still in green. The Dow futures is 260 points higher. The European markets are higher, and SGX Nifty, it's too early to look at SGX Nifty because the US market is not open, but as of now it's looking at a gap down, correct? So for tomorrow, in case we get a huge gap up, right now, say the US market closes on a very high note and we get, for this is the tomorrow CPR, we get a huge gap up, say above this 35,500, right, then we'll have to be careful. It might be a little sideways. In case we get a pretty flat opening, like as of now we are seeing minus 25, and if that sustains until tomorrow, we open below 35,500, there's a good possibility we might come, like take support at the CPR or something and come up until 35,500. Then we'll have to see if 35,500 breaks or we will take good resistance at 35,500. That is something we'll have to see tomorrow. Now the best way to enter for the long trade is, this is again the 5-minute chart. I'm putting the tomorrow CPR, and all these purple lines are support and resistance that I have drawn. In tomorrow, if we get a gap down, wait for the retest of the 20 EMA, see if the 20 EMA holds. If we are trading above 20 EMA, yeah, then we can enter with the 20 EMA itself as the stop loss, and probably we can see a target of 35,500 or 35,560. So this level is where if I get a long trade, I'll book some profits. Then later we'll see whether later part of the day, if the bullishness continues, we'll enter. Otherwise, if it remains sideways, just stay out of the trading. Now, apart from CPR, based on the price action support, right, we have one good support over here at 35,527, and the next support is coming in. Sorry, the next resistance on the upper side, it's always resistance, right? The next resistance is coming in around 35,600. Then the major resistance is here, 35,743. Just mark these levels. And here is another reaction level that we will have. Not expecting a very big bullish move like today. It might be a little sideways tomorrow. So if I take a trade in option buying, I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. See, in today's move, either this move from R2 or R2 to R3, easily we could have captured 100 points in the option premium. But tomorrow that might be a little difficult. Maximum we might get is around 30-40 points in the option premium. So that's how we'll have to trade. And in case we come down right now, say for some reason we are seeing a gap down, we get a gap down and say all a long unwinding happens, meaning a lot of people who bought today start exiting. In that case, a good short will be only if we get a crossover in the EMAs. That is, see, the blue line is the 50 EMA, the red line is the 20 EMA, the pink line is the 200 EMA, right? So like how we got this crossover over here and we started falling, right? So a short will be, a good short trade will come only if this crossover happens tomorrow at any point. So until then, there's a good chance we might still continue and hit probably 35,500, or see, if we get a continuous bullish move like today, right? My target for tomorrow is 35,750. The R2 of CPR, I don't think breaking this will be easy. And there's a very good possibility we might take resistance at 35,500. Why? It's because of the open interest. See, this could also mean, see, there's a lot of existing open interest at 35,500, and even today some open interest is added. This could also be, we don't know whether they're only sellers, or it could also be people who have bought 35,500 calls extensively. So we'll just have to wait and see how this 35. So best thing is around 9:30, just see how this OI is building up in 35,500. If there's good resistance, yeah, then definitely breaking 35,500 might happen, but it will take some resistance there. So that is with Bank Nifty. Now coming to the Nifty levels. Let me just put off all this. See, Nifty, the moment we fill this gap, right? Yesterday I had mentioned about this gap. The moment we fill this gap, there was some resistance, and then we broke out of the gap and went higher. And this pattern was looking like a nice rising wedge pattern. So I did indicate that Nifty might not be all that bullish because of this chart pattern, but in the end, we got a small breakdown, and even this rising wedge pattern didn't sustain, probably because of Bank Nifty, because Bank Nifty is also part of Nifty, right? So because of that, we got a nice push on the upside. So I'll just shift to a 15-minute chart and get rid of this line. This rising wedge will not hold good anymore as we have broken out of it. So depending on gap up or gap down, the next target on the upside is 16,300, where we can take some good resistance. And this level will be a very strong resistance because we had this gap here, right? This gap down, let me remove this. This huge gap down, right? That level is coming around 16,325. So when we come here, definitely we'll take some resistance on the upper side. And in case we slip, a good support for Nifty is around 16,240. And the next level of support is coming in only here at 16,200. At this level can be a good intraday buy if in case we get some kind of a dip until 16,220. So this is where some reaction level is there in Nifty. And just looking at the open interest for Nifty, see, we do have some resistance at 16,300, but a lot of put riders also have come in. So there's a chance even 16,300 might get crossed tomorrow, and a very good support at 16,200. Breaking 16,200 on the downside looks difficult for Nifty. So this is it for tomorrow in Nifty and Bank Nifty. I'm expecting the bullishness to continue, but not as bullish as today. Maybe we will take a halt at 35,500. If that is broken, we might face some resistance at 35,750 is my view. So let's see how it goes, and good luck for tomorrow trading, and hope this analysis helps. Thank you.